What do you have to say?
No, I've not heard from you in a while, so I think, do you owe me money? No, you don't owe me money, because I'm so poor I've asked everyone who owes me money for it back. Give a brother a call.
That's pretty awesome.
Just in that way that Andre has.
Yeah. So brutally humble. Alright, should probably put these goggles on top of my face. Alright, Godspeed here. Already hit what's sure what I hope to be the biggest snag of the day. And more snaggletooths, alright. Alright, well that gives me my mark. Mark!
Man, that smells delicious.
Yeah.
I can feel the cancer.
I already got it. Cancer in the back. I got a great idea. What?
Clamp them all together.
Yeah. That way there's not as much vibration, which is what's killing me here. Killing me, Smalls. See, like, you don't even have to screw it a different way to get, like, the complexity. You just pinch it. So, like, oh, we need to make a turn here? But it doesn't have to be this rigid thing. You just bend it, put some rocks in the part that you want big, have two people stand on either side, and then once the rocks are in, then you're good to go. And the ones beside it, you're good to go. Baby, you got skill. Here goes our shticks.
You want me to take the sticks out so you don't have to...
No, that's alright. Maybe the clamp.
Almost prefer your foot not to be behind it.
I know, I need to like find a way to do this without killing myself.
That's just the next.
I will kill myself though.
I have to say, you just flip it over and do the same thing.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that I have my mark. So I'll just, these sticks are useless in here. Let's just measuring thing, right? Hey, how's it going, man?
Excellent. How are you guys doing?
Doing all right.
I heard signs, so I figured figured it'd be you.
I'm getting a lot of work done. We were trying to push for that tournavation thing.
Yeah.
There were over 100 submissions.
Yeah.
Apparently, we didn't make the top 10. So.
Well, my friend's presenting.
Oh, cool.
So she invited me to.
What is she doing?
In a few words, reimagine Milwaukee.
Okay.
So it's it includes. Oh, cool! You got this recording. It includes the Young Farmers Program, but it extends all the way through to having a co-op that distributes food when young farmers or other young farmers need to distribute it.
That's sweet.
Together. So
tell her congratulations.
Yeah, we'll do.
Yeah. We were like kind of figuring that ours may have been a little too of an infrastructural project.
Right. Yeah. It's, they had a very specific.
Yeah.
And I asked Mary Beth. I was like, should I include the artery in what I want to do on the artery?
Right.
And she's like, well, it doesn't really comply with the idea of foreclosures.
Right.
And she mentioned about being a brown field, so maybe that's not the best.
Yeah.
Ag should happen on it, but maybe certain people aren't going to be as thrilled about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, what isn't a brown field that we grow on in Milwaukee, though?
Well,
right?
I think through policy eyes,
they
see it differently.
Yeah.
Because there's certain, and I'm guessing that's one of them.
Stigma terms.
It's deemed you can't build on this unless you clean this shit up.
Right.
But I mean, would you want to grow food out of this soil any more so than no? You know? But I think it does require, and I was thinking about it after I talked to her, I was like, I guess I'll have to go through more precautionary measures to keep weeds basically coming through.
Right.
Maybe tires could be involved.
Yeah, I'll try to come tomorrow.
Cool.
I
totally
present, but it was like, I was getting like these last minute people are just like, oh yeah, like I know you're really stressed out. So
right.
That was good to have, but when did your friend find out?
Today at 3:40.
Okay.
And I was kind of checking my email off and on today, and I was getting really frustrated about not hearing. So I was like, screw it, I'm not even going to go watch if I don't get accepted. Yeah. And then she told me, I was like, good for you. And then she's like, I want you to present. I was like, really? Okay.
So you guys will do like a couple different things? Or?
Yeah, she's got 6 minutes, so she said I could have a few of those.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Which is good just to have the policy makers hear about, I guess, because ultimately, whether or not the money comes, it's great to have the policymakers hear about this.
Right.
And they'll be like, hey, let's start getting some food on that artery and stuff. Hopefully, that's what I'd love. That's what I want more than anything else, is someone to go through with the artery and so I can start planting over there.
Yeah, and that's like one hand. What's that expression? I scratch your back, you scratch mine.
Yeah,
it's like all of these things are innovative, and so going to that thing tomorrow will just be like a really good forum.
Collaboration.
To be like, hey, and some of us will get that stage, which not all of us have had to sort of voice these things, but like I wouldn't be mentioning the artery without like young farmers or groundwork Milwaukee.
Right.
And so I think like as these relationships start to like filter down.
Right.
I mean the part of me in not getting selected.
But you have to be a little bit bitter, just because like you can't. Then that means you didn't care about it.
Yeah.
If you didn't care about it, then like what the hell are you submitting?
Like call bullshit on the process because it's like
it's a really 400 words, and then they have basically a weekend to decide. But that means that there's probably some presentations that only saw one person.
Yeah.
Because I figure if there's over 100 submissions, then they basically gave 10 to each candidate or whatever.
Yeah.
And they said pick your top five and throw some of them out.
Yeah.
So that means there's 5 that might have had something really good that one person looked over or didn't like.
Yeah. Yeah, we played down the tire a lot. Like we basically talked about like the 2.8 acres, 28 acres that is along this path, and how
the one all the way up to Hampton.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So this would be like phase 1 of what we were originally seeking to do, but I mean like we didn't really have like the plan of how to actually do the food, but we basically wrote in our proposal that like we are in a city that's figured it out.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is just basically facilitate the area in which this can happen, which is like very stricken as far as poverty, as far as diversity, as far as education.
Yeah.
So we want to give people like a sort of ability to experience these areas,
Right.
But also for those areas to experience a pride and a level of ownership for their own communities. So that's what we try to, you know, like
Yeah.
angle our
In
thing
400
on.
words.
Yeah.
And you've got to.
God, yeah, 400 words was tough. I wrote it like 3 or 4 times, and then, you know, I was like wondering, like, are a lot of these things like just hatching? Or like you have somewhere like Sweetwater in there that's like talking about like their next implementation. You know what I mean?
I talked to Gotzel. He didn't get it. He's not one of the presenters.
Yeah, yeah.
So, I'll be curious.
I mean,
to
you
see
have to kind of be on that cliff of the unknowns. So.
Right. They don't want to fund something that might never come to fruition, but they at the same time
they want to give.
I figure Growing Power is going to present, but
yeah,
it'd be kind of weird if they got it. It's like,
yeah,
okay, so now this is one of many $1 million grants they have.
It's like,
they'll be like, okay, now like we can hire 2 more people.
I don't think Growing Power would submit, to be honest.
Oh, they did.
They did.
Yeah.
With a new idea?
No.
Hold on a second.
No, not at all.
Hello?
I can turn this off. I don't like being recorded like that. Top secret.
Oh, my phone just kicked the can.
You mean the battery?
Yeah. Kick the battery.
Well, I do want to thank you for that. The murals came along real
Sweet.
nice. So
Yeah.
I'll have to show it to you once they're all.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I get to grocery store by 9 o'clock, I was gonna have a drink for better or worse today.
Nice. Do it.
So what do you guys have as far as your presentation? Like, were you guys waiting to hear if you got it, or were you like sort of already synced up to do it?
I mean, yeah, we all collaborated, and
Okay.
so then the ideas so I helped to contribute towards the ideas that were put into her proposal, and then we decided that we'd be better off if we all created a proposal because we each kind of individual ideas, so you know, broadcast as many seeds as possible.
Sure.
So we're gonna talk tomorrow about what our idea is.
That's an interesting strategy. We should have had an artery from the tire perspective, artery from like get everyone together perspective.
Right.
Could have had it from like a community social. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't think of that, but that's really smart because you also have a lot better ideas when you're like bouncing them off.
Right.
Everyone.
Right.
We were just like, got our groundwork money. Like, what's up next? $1 million?
Right. Yeah.
Show me the money.
You might as well just keep going with it. It's funny how a setback like that makes you feel like, oh, we only have $25,000, and then you're like, wait, we have $25,000.
Yeah. So, you know, I don't think it's about the money. I think it was about the spotlight and our intention.
The ability to speak with city officials.
Yeah, be on a platform formally because we've had conversations with everyone, excluding the mayor. We really wanted to sort of get the mayor on board because he was aware of the coup petition and said beintween. I wish you guys success and I hope you continue to push the community to push itself.
Right.
So
definitely
that would have been solid from that perspective, but
that'll be nice because definitely any opportunity, and I feel the exact same way because ultimately the artery is what means the most to me.
Yeah.
Because that's where I want our training program to be.
Right.
And ultimately, hopefully, the youth will graduate from that into their own city lots.
Yeah.
But
and it's nice because it's sort of like
start.
It's on the way. It's in the way. It is the way.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
You go there to get your food, but you also can then continue all the way to the restaurant or to the market that you're selling by virtue of the beer line. Right.
Yeah. And you also get home that way and go by your neighbors from the case of the young farmers who live on the north side.
Yeah, I mean, if nothing else comes of this, I sort of told myself I have till August and I'm just going to slam myself into a wall repetitively in terms of promotion, development, prototyping and things like that.
That's a good idea.
And then this sort of gave me that last leg when I was really sort of wearing thin. It was the time we had to move all those tires, you know. It was just middle of August. I had to work at university basically 24 hours a day with these high school kids, and by the end of that week, I was just I don't know if I got one more arterial week left in me. And then a friend of mine invited me to submit for this
Cool.
And I was like, well, hell, you know,
That'll
if we don't,
motivate you.
Yeah, if we don't,
Runner up is 1 million.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's this sort of. I think it's going to be really great, and I like. am really eager to see like what the city of Milwaukee finds to be both innovative,
Right.
Implementable,
Right.
replicable,
Right.
because the scope of what Mayor Bloomberg's challenge is awfully different than the stigma that the city put forth.
Yeah, I looked at theirs briefly. I'm a little skeptical of. I'm just like.
Like the
curious
311 thing in Chicago,
what-
cool, but
you looked at what other cities are.
yeah,
looking
it
at?
was like past winners, like you know.
It's been done before. The mayor's challenge.
I don't know if it's been done like with this level of funding, or if this is the first time, but they sort of talked about these replicable concepts, which may have started out as a small like city thing and then ballooned outside and then like thwarted positive attention towards the city's sort of. If we're going to contribute as a community to our city, like how can the city then reach the federal level? And I think that's where I want to see what Milwaukee can come up with.
I feel
do
pretty
that.
like I've been convinced about what I've been working on is because I've been envisioning basically what we proposed for at least as long as I've been hatching this young farmer program, which dates back to last fall. And so for me, it's just an opportunity to accelerate what I'm already been putting on a platform. So in a lot of ways, I was just like, well, this is great.
So what's Reimagine Milwaukee? Is this like a...
She kind of used that as an umbrella, which the term comes from Detroit.
Okay.
And just as an umbrella of urban farmers, from young farmers to independent farmers farming on city lots, to people homesteading foreclosed homes, to the food hubs, which would be neighborhood locations to distribute food, and ultimately to city co-op. And
is that a coconut?
This is a.
Not to interrupt, but
no, they're all. It's a gourd. This was sitting in my car.
Okay.
Along with that, so I was like, oh shit, I better get this on my car. It should be in the heat. And but I figured it'd be interesting to bring it by anyway because this is another component to the instrument.
Okay.
So have a stick, wire from the car tire, and then it gets bent like a bow and arrow, and then you put this on. This basically serves as the speaker.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a fun instrument, and it's cool that it's so growable. This can be grown here.
Yeah.
That can be sawed out here.
Yeah.
Only problem is the stick has to be really, really hard.
Yeah.
So that comes from Brazil or I think Africa probably have sticks like that. Even though it's made of African instrument. So this is totally something that's just a system, but it's very necessary. So I traveled last fall out east to see what other cities were doing as far as urban farming, and as Detroit's got a lot of promising things, but no city really has it figured out. But it's really important to have these systems in place for a number of different reasons. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to at least, voice it, because ultimately I think we'll get there either way, whether or not Milwaukee will be there first. But I feel pretty strongly that this is a pretty solid route, and Milwaukee being a great place to start because, like you said, Milwaukee's got it in a lot of regards, but in the same way it doesn't have it at all relative to a place like Detroit that's much more decentralized in the way that they're farming. Our centralized farming is great because we're producing more food than probably most other cities locally, but being so top down as our organizations are, it's a weakness. So, but yet they've got a lot of infrastructure in place. It's great. Ultimately, the soil. They've got 4 acres of compost. Like, so basically, imagine this whole block, basically. Just piles of compost.
Who does?
Growing power.
Oh, growing power. Yeah.
So
With
that.
Sweetwater, they have probably half an acre worth.
Theirs is ultimately trivial relative to growing powers. Because growing powers got, like, if you go, they secured a site from MMSD. That's a giant 20-foot
Yeah, I
deep
heard about that.
reservoir.
Yeah, it's steaming madness.
It's huge. Like
Yeah.
it's inconceivable. I mean, think about it this way: Growing Power's site, if you've ever been there, is 2
Yeah.
acres.
Yeah.
So twice as much of Growing Power's site
Yeah.
is pure compost. You know, and I think they're filled. It's like basically filled. I
Yeah.
don't know if it's entirely
It's
filled
great
up,
because
but they're
people
running
just
out
bring
of space.
all their old shit there. And
No one can bring it. They're super high security. I couldn't go there as a Growing Power staff.
Oh,
Only
really?
trained Growing Power staff people can go there. It's really
But
intense
where's the
security.
material come from?
Well, I guess there are a few, like Walmart.
Yeah.
does. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
guess, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
So Walmart does. But most of it, Growing Power is picking up and dropping off.
Yeah.
Walmart will bring in a semi, I think, every week,
Wow.
filled with compost. It's got like an auger.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty incredible.
Wow.
As far as both
The big auger at Walmart.
the soil, but also like Walmart's fascinated by that because that's kind of fits with their mantra. They're like, oh, well, you're telling us we can save.
This is
You
like
know,
Wall Farm, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We can spend less money and be considered philanthropists. This is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, 'cause
That's always been their thing, bottom dollar.
right,
you know.
right.
What can they shave? And now it's
Right.
like great to see that they've sort of turned the ecological corner into this like race of
It's
trying to be competitive in an ecological state.
It's double edged. I think it also harkens to the dominance of the market, whereas before they
Yeah.
had a corner of it.
Yeah. Well, they
And
always
so-
had all of it.
Well, not the food market.
Oh, not the food market. That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I guess what I was going to say is ultimately, any opportunity I have to, because I can't, and I probably won't mention anything about the artery
Right.
tomorrow just because
Right.
of what Mary Beth said, but ultimately, going forward, any opportunities I have
Yeah.
because of this, there'll be,
Yeah.
if you're speaking to whoever you're speaking to, I'm
You
like,
got a minute.
I'm
It's like 400
waiting.
words. Like.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but if we're both pushing for it, ultimately, they're going to be like, these guys keep telling us we need to do it. These
Yeah.
guys keep telling me we need to do it. They've got great ideas. They seem excited about it.
Yeah.
Why would we hold them back if we already have the money?
Yeah.
So,
And
fine.
Brian, the owner of the artery, is like,
I'm sure he's impatient.
um,
He'd like to.
yeah, he's been sort of like, working on Glendale Yards behind Home Depot, and really this is like my first priority. And then I think he started to take it a little bit more seriously. And it's like that turnkey thing, like the first time that you get funding, all of a sudden, if people don't want to be a part of the income from that funding, they
Right.
definitely want to be associated with it. And
Right.
so he said,
It's just legitimizing. It's like regardless of the
Yeah.
funding,
Yeah.
it's because it's such a topsy-turvy world that like any projects can come about. But once
Yeah.
there's legitimacy to it,
yeah,
then it's like, well, shit. Why
Yeah.
why not this any more than anything else?
yeah. And he like saw the last prototype and he's like, wow, because like in the beginning he was like, like I think your initiative to sort of bind these communities is great, but I don't think you're ever going to be able to use federal dollars to do something like that. And now it's like, hey, look, this is what it cost. This is the bottom line, and it's like gonna be a lot easier to maintain, sort of a gravel path.
Right.
I don't know if you know about it, but
Oh, that's what
creating
you're talking about.
these cells.
With the gravel in between.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
Awesome.
So it's sort of I was just like talking about this. I don't want to go back into it, but
No, it's cool.
the ability to sort of reclaim garbage, which is a problem, I think has the replicability that as soon as this project takes off, it'll be this sort of like
Duh.
example for other places.
Okay.
That oh shit, why don't we do that? Like, there's always this hub where there's just a shitload of automotive places, like mom and pop shops, and
Right.
you ultimately find tires all around there.
Right.
But Brian is donating the bridge over Capitol to Riverworks, which Riverworks had been trying to get him to do for the longest time, because he otherwise is supposed to be paying air rights, because it's like not actual property, but you still have to pay tax on air right. So he was like kind of eager to get rid of it.
Right.
And Riverworks has been hassling him because they're like, look, we can get the people from Harambee to like outposts and all the shopping center
Oh, just
without
as a
going
footpath.
down by Capitol if